awful, but so be it.
So Griffin kind of filled me in a little bit about what happened, but I want to hear it from your perspective. And just so you know, I'm recording this so I can use it on TV as part of the story. I'm asking, I'll give you kind of an update as to where things stand right now. When Griffin told me a little bit about what had happened with you guys in Walmart, I reached out to Walmart and I said, so how does this waste list system work? And they said, we're following the state's protocols on how to make sure doses are not wasted. I said, okay, well, I know what that protocol is because I'd reported on it a month ago. But a month ago, we didn't have the age-based system and we didn't have the teachers as eligible. The old system basically said, if you get somebody who cancels and you have extra doses in a vial, call somebody that's on a wait list who's 70 plus. And this goes for any site, Northern Light at Cross Insurance in Bangor or whatever. Call somebody who's 70 plus. If they can't get there, call someone between the ages of 65 to 69. If they can't get there, vaccinate one of the staff at the clinic who has not otherwise been vaccinated. It was very clear back then. Now that we have the age-based approach and teachers, I asked the state, are you going to update this guidance? And I'm waiting to hear back. So I just wanted to fill you in on what I know as of right now. So if you don't mind, tell me from your perspective, tell me what it was like to, just from the very beginning. You wanted to go get an appointment and how this all kind of manifested to you finally getting a dose of the vaccine.
Sure. So you know Griffin Stockford. So his mom, Maura, is one of my very best friends. And she immediately texted me and said, I'm sitting in the waiting area of the Walmart in Augusta, and this is how I've gotten my shot. Start calling Walmarts right now. And so I couldn't get to it at that moment, but at like 5:30 on Saturday night, start calling Walmarts. And we called the one in Brunswick because I live in Brunswick. And they immediately put myself on one list, my husband, who's 66, on a different list, and said, yep, you'll get a call, but you probably won't get a call today. But you're on our list, and as soon as the waste list, and as soon as we have one available, we'll give you a call. At 6:15 p.m., so 45 minutes later, they called me, and said, can you come right in? And I said, absolutely, because teachers were prioritized. And then I said, well, my husband's 66, and they said, bring him too, because he was also available on one of the lists that makes you eligible. So we literally just like threw on our shoes and drove to the local Walmart. And there we were with maybe 7, 8, 9 other people who had gotten the calls. They were amazing. They were unbelievably professional, efficient, friendly, went out of their way to get extra chairs for people because this was like this onslaught of last minute, inoculations. And before we left, we had our scheduled second appointment, of which they even apologized that it would have to be on a Monday at 5:40 at night because they couldn't fit any more on weekends. We're like, that's fine. And it was just like amazing. I mean, we were in shock that we were able to get in because I hadn't been able to get on anybody's, scheduled appointments. And my husband, I was all ready for this Wednesday to drive him up to Palmyra for an appointment up there. And then lo and behold, we were able to just cancel that, and boom, boom, here we were all vaccinated, 3 miles from our house.
Awesome. Okay, 2 things. Monica, one, are you on a laptop?
Yes.
Can you take your screen and pull it towards you just a tiny bit? Take the actual lid of the screen and fold it towards you. Yes, there you go. That's perfect. Just like that is perfect. I just want to be able to see more of your face. I don't want your mouth getting cut off.
Sure.
So when did you get that first dose? That sounds like the whole call.
Saturday.
Okay, so this just happened Saturday. And so you're scheduled for the second dose already.
Yeah.
Okay,
so we're scheduled. We'll both go together at 5:40 p.m. on April 5th.
So what went through your mind when you got that call back 45 minutes later?
We were in absolute shock. I mean, honest to goodness, we got home and went, we can't even believe that we are now vaccinated. Like, how did that even happen? Because we had been trying and getting frustrated. And even as a teacher, I'm 55. All of a sudden, yes, you're going to get on, you're going to get a call to get vaccinated. And now it's like, no, we can only accommodate teachers 60 and older. And I was just getting, like frustrated because I personally work in a school where we're in 5 days a week, 100% in person with elementary school children. And we're thinking, here we are. I get it if people are working and teaching remote, but we are in school with over 175 kids in a building and we can't get in here. So we were absolutely in shock. And we still are. We're like, that is amazing because we had, a gazillion phone calls and all kinds of things and frustration. And we honestly had resolved ourselves that we probably wouldn't get vaccinated till like July. We're just kind of like, if this happens before July, it's going to be amazing. And then it was like, boom, 5:30, we make the call, 6:15, they call us, 7:00, we're getting a shot in the arm. It was like, whoa.
So this, and I can imagine the relief that went through your mind. Can you explain what that was like for you?
Oh, yeah. I'm in a position right now where I'm an interventionist and I have like these plastic barriers between me and I can have up to 3 kids in my room. We can't be at reading tables. We're at individual desks. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, when I get that second set of, the second vaccine on April 5th, I might to at least be able to take these plastic barriers off these desks and get back to a little bit more normalcy in terms of how we teach. So that's what was going through my mind, is just the whole relief of that. And my mom is in Connecticut in assisted living and she's been vaccinated, but I haven't been able to see her since pre-COVID. And so that was also, I'm like, I see the light at the end of the tunnel here, that April school vacation, I'm probably going to be able to finally see my 87-year-old mom, who I haven't seen in over a year. So just this whole like, oh my God, I don't even, this is just amazing that this happened. I'm still in shock, that I'm there. So even though I ended up having some adverse reactions to it, my husband had almost none. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I'm fine now. It's a few days later. Sure, I'll be 100% tomorrow. No hesitation to do it again at all.
Husband a teacher as well?
No, but he's 66.
Got it.
So he was able to be on one of those lists, and they closed the pharmacy at 6:00 at night. So when we got that call at 6:15, they're just trying to get as many eligible people in as fast as they can, because they had to use up those doses and they had to use them that night. So I think for them, it was almost like a score, 2 doses, 1 phone call. Yay, come on in,
So this is the very interesting thing about this whole process is that obviously nobody wants to waste a dose, knowing what the demand is for this vaccine. At the same time, we've had some changes to the way our state applies the vaccine rollout. What do you think about this concept of, hey, we will basically call whoever we have to, or, we're going to try and get a shot in an arm however we can. And the fact that you and others have gone out of their way to make that known,
right?
Hey, we're here and we're available and we want it. How does that feel to you?
I think it's a great thing. And we've let other people. So my next door neighbor, who's also a good friend of ours, she's a teacher. So as soon as we got our shot, because then we knew, okay, this is legit, we told her. She called on Sunday and she was called in yesterday. She got her shot. So, to me, it's kind of like, to be honest with you, like so many other things, sometimes you got to be a little proactive. You're not breaking any rules, and if you can be proactive for your own benefit to get that shot and you're safer and we are legitimately in school with these kids, I see, nothing wrong with it. We got an email yesterday from my school system. We are all set up with Midcoast Hospital, but Midcoast Hospital doesn't have the doses and there's no timeline of when we would even get them, and they would prioritize teachers age 60 and older. So on that note, I went, well, I can wait around who knows when I'm finally going to get their call, or I can get proactive on this waste list. I got nothing to lose, and see if I can get called in earlier. And we did.
So do you feel that this system needs more organization? Because as you can see, somebody who's decided to be proactive can go ahead and get this, but there may be people who don't even know that this was an option to call and say, hey, I'd like to be considered for the waste list. Do you feel that there needs to be more organization here to make sure everybody's aware of all the resources available?
So I think, to be perfectly honest with you, I know that myself and every other teacher who we have now successfully done this, we've told everybody we know who are legit, who are eligible. We're like, do this, you got nothing to lose. I would honestly say there's probably no more need for an extra layer of organization, because I will tell you, Walmart was amazingly organized and they can only handle so much. So, you call the pharmacy directly and they have to answer the phone. If they get inundated with thousands of phone calls, I don't think they're going to be able to handle it. So that's a piece of it too. You've got one pharmacist and two pharmacy techs running this show, taking turns who's making phone calls and making sure every slot. You've got a capacity issue for them too. You know what I mean? And I will tell you, they were about as organized as they could be. So yeah, it's nice to publicize it, but I'm not sure how much. From what I saw, I don't think they could handle anymore either.
So just to play devil's advocate, right? If you were a teacher who was 62 and you heard about somebody else who was 55 or 45 going through this process and getting the vaccine and being scheduled for their second, and then you finding out and being like, wait a minute, I want to do that. How would you feel if somebody else was able to do that, in your position that you are now, and you weren't able to do that?
Yeah, I think I would immediately jump on it. And again, it's kind of like a backdoor thing, and say, thank you very much. I know in my school, all teachers who are 60 and older have gotten called. So it's not an issue in our school. So anybody who's 60 and older as a teacher and wants a vaccine is getting it. If they haven't already, they're going to get it within the next couple of days. It was those of us who aren't quite 60 that were in this, who knows when situation. And all of us that have accessed this, all of us were in we're like between 54 and 58 years old type of thing.
Yeah. So how did you originally find out that if you call Walmart and ask to be put on this waste list, that this would potentially happen? How did you find out that this was even a possibility?
Yeah, I got a text from my friend Maura McHugh, who's Griffin Stockford's mom, because we're good friends. And she's like, this is what you got to do. I'm sitting in the Augusta Walmart right now. Start calling Walmarts. And I was like, we're on it. Right. So that's how it worked. And then once we got vaccinated and we said, oh my God, it's here in Brunswick, we let our next door neighbor teacher know. And between the two of us, we've let everybody we know who's a teacher know. Going, this is a legit thing, guys. There's no guarantees, but it's worth a shot.
Somebody I think described it as the wild, wild west. How do you feel about that?
I don't think I consider this all the wild, wild west, but I will tell you that up until this happened, we were frustrated. I was frustrated on if, when, how am I ever going to get vaccinated? And especially being in a situation where we're teaching 100% in person in a school, and there wasn't any okay, schools who are 100% remote were not lower on a list than those of us 100% in person. There was no anything. We were all just kind of clumped together, and then it was strictly by age. So that was frustrating. So again, it felt for those of us, and again, those of us who are teaching 100% were like, yeah, thank the Lord, we're finally getting vaccinated.
So Monica, what school do you work at?
I work at Fisher Mitchell School in Bath.
Okay. Do you want me to say that or no? I know some teachers are kind of sensitive about that stuff.
Doesn't make any difference.
I mean, it's one of the public elementary schools in Bath?
Yeah. We're the grade 3, 4, 5 school.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any pictures of you at work. It doesn't necessarily have to be with other kids, because I know that also I would need to blur faces and all that stuff, which I can do. But do you have any pictures of you teaching or working with kids?
I'd have to dig hard.
Okay. Did you take any pictures when you went to Walmart to get vaccinated? Your vaccine card or anything like that?
No, but I could take a picture if you really, although why would you even want to put that out there, right?
I mean, I wouldn't put your personal info, right? I would take out your birthday and your, anything that would be sensitive, if you wanted to. I just to, show proof that you have a vaccine card that you did get vaccinated.
Yeah. I mean, I could do that sitting on the fridge. And
Cool.
I can look through my photos, to be honest with you, but
I was gonna say, you got anything on Facebook that you'd be willing to let me borrow?
I put very little on Facebook. If you went on Facebook, all you'd see is our new puppy. So no, I'd rather you not do anything like that.
No, that's fine.
But I certainly can take a picture of my vaccination card and send that your way if you want to just tell me
I'll
where to
take out your birthday and then any other personal information. I would never put, birthday or address or social security number, nothing like that. I mean, whatever you tell me to take out, I'll take out, but that's kind of it. I just thought this was a fascinating story, and I only bring up those questions, on kind of the devil's advocate side of things, just because I know there are going to be a lot of people who see this and go, well, wait a minute, I want to do this, and it's great that they have this resource. But I think there are going to be some people who say, well, why didn't they tell us? So that's all.
Well, and the other thing that just from a reporting standpoint, you may want to look into is other pharmacies and stuff may have the same waste list. Mm-hmm. This may not be a specific Walmart thing. We just all jumped on the Walmart thing because
you knew it was happening.
Yeah. Exactly. But for all I know, it's the same deal with Hannaford's and everybody else that are doing this.
Okay. Well, I'll poke around on that front.
Because it would seem to me that there would be.
Yeah, because the state has that policy, right? They have the, full use policy to make sure nothing goes to waste. So we'll see what they say on the update on that. That's kind of it for me, Monica. Is there anything else you want to add about like what this experience was like for you?
No, again, I think that the big thing is it's just a sense of relief. And honestly, they were so professional and kind at Walmart. It was really very remarkable. And, and their day ended at 6:00 and we're in there. I mean, my guess is they didn't get out of there until at least 8:00.
I just wanted to follow up. Can you explain that sense of relief? I understand the frustration of like, maybe we're not going to get vaccinated and so on and so forth, but why was it so important to you to get vaccinated? Especially, I understand working with kids and 100% of the time in person, but as far as the virus is concerned, why was it so important for you to get vaccinated? Why such this sense of relief?
I think the big sense of relief is that maybe we're going to get back to some form of normal. I mean, we've taken in our family this very seriously. Haven't gone to a single restaurant. Even, this weekend is my son's birthday and we're going to meet at a public park and you know what I mean? And try to figure out a distant way. So just taking away some of that of just not feeling safe to even see people you love. Again, my mom, not being able to see my mom who's in assisted living, and now feeling like, well, the light's at the end of the tunnel here. That's really the sense of relief. And again, I think being able to let down the guard just a little bit in terms of teaching, not having, like right now, we are really heavy into protocols and everything, which we should be. But the level of anxiety and stress that comes with that, it hopefully, I know that for me, not that I'm not going to not do those things, if certainly we will, but you feel a little less stress going through your day if a kid coughs on you or whatever. So that's really what it is more than anything.
You feel, and pardon me for being a little bit blunt, but I've heard my mother-in-law, who's over the age of 60, describe it this way: I'm not going to die from COVID.
Exactly. Is that, you feel like, okay, every day I go to work, I'm not putting myself at risk of ending up in the ICU.
That's a lot of anxiety to live with.
Right. So, is it 100%? No. Do we know what's happening with variants? No. But I certainly feel a whole lot more protected than I did before.
Yeah. Cool. Monica, you are an absolute rock star. I cannot tell you how awesome it was to do this interview with you today. Seriously,
Hey,
this was really,
no,
really great.
no problem. So if you want to just let me know, I will, like, as soon as we get off, I'll just take a picture of that immunization card
Sure.
and send it to you.
Yeah, you can text it to me if that's easiest for you.
Sure.
Thank
Oh,
you again.
my husband's asking, when's this going to be on TV?
Tonight at 5:30.
Tonight at 5:30, honey.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate you
very
making
welcome.
time. And congratulations on getting the vaccine. So happy for you. That's really, really great.
Thank
And
you.
thinking of you guys, especially people like you who go into school every day with people 100% in person. I'm glad this provides you a little extra layer of protection.
Thank you. You take care.
All right. Talk to you soon, Monica. Bye.
Bye-bye.